Hello and welcome. Welcome to our show. This is the Daily Reset for Success, and we are all about living a healthier, happier, more productive, and creative life. And today we have a wonderful guest. It's Alicia White. Hey, Alicia.
Hey, everyone.
And Lady Lou.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are when you're watching.
You know, our Daily Reset series, this is a series that we have. We're on 4 days a week, and Tuesday nights we're on at 7 p.m. for the Wisdom Chats. And Wisdom Chats is all about the wellness industry. So being well mentally, but the Daily Reset is all about resetting your life right now, every day, because sometimes we need to know that we can start over the next day, especially in today's weirdness that's going on. I don't even know what to call it. It's just every day we just wonder what's going to happen. So we have to be able to wake up the next morning and say, okay, let's reset, let's take a deep breath, and let's see what we can do today. And I love the fact that Lady Lou and Alicia White here are here with me today to talk a little bit about business, because we all need to get back to it. If we took a break, if we sat on the couch and watched TV for a week, it's time to get back to it. Right, ladies?
Right. Definitely. And I'm ready. I know about everybody else because I'm having a time of my life right now, even though we're cloistered in our homes.
Yes. I went out yesterday because I needed to go to the office. Okay. My office is closed to the public, but I needed to go out to go to the office to get mail and things like that. And I noticed that so many people were just walking around like there's nothing going on. And I wondered to myself, now, Marion, don't say anything to them. Marion, don't say anything to them. Marion? Oh, I called the lady that wanted to say something to him, Gladys. I said, Gladys, please don't say anything to them, because they don't understand. They're healthy and young, and they think that, it's no big deal. But they forget that there's other people that, could get infected by them, and that they need to protect not only themselves, but us. So I thought to myself, this is a reset for everyone. The world. We're resetting the world. And we can do it in a positive way. So that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that you're here with us today. And I want you to be able to comment. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, this is live, and you can comment and ask Alicia anything, ask Lady Lou anything, and me too, if you'd like, about some of the things that we're going to talk about today, business-wise. But also, if you have other questions and you want to put them in the comments below, think about giving permission if you're on Facebook, because if you're on Facebook and you talk to us, we won't know who you are. So in the description down below at the very end, you'll see give Facebook and StreamYard permission to see who you are.
Yeah, all right. We love our audience. Come join us.
Yes, Lady Lou, I know you have a burning question for Alicia.
Oh, well, Alicia, I want to know how you got into this business. I just think you're wonderful, and what you do is so appropriate for the business world.
Oh, thank you for the question, Lady Lou. And I do want to say hello to Carolyn Gray for joining us. Woohoo!
Oh,
good. Lady Lou, I started Back of the Room Productions about 9 years ago, when I saw a need with coaches and entrepreneurs who were getting in front of an audience, and they were sharing their value and their message, but then that was the end of it.
Oh.
And when I realized that there were attendees that wanted more, they wanted more from that speaker, from that coach, the business owner, but the speaker didn't have anything for them, I went, they need something. They're no different than Zig Ziglar and Les Brown and Tony Robbins. They have all this stuff at the back of the room. Why can't we? Why can't people like Marion, Lady Lou, and myself have this information at the back of the room? And it just started like that. It just started to grow. And the more I talked about it to people, the more people said, oh, I need a lead generating speaking tool. Oh, I want a tall banner with my face and my branding on it. Oh, I need an audio, a CD that I can give away for free, or a little printed piece of a postcard to give away. And that's how it all started. It started out as a need.
Wow. And it was a brilliant idea that you came up with because, like you say, it's a need. And we've always heard find a niche and fill it. And you have beautifully.
And Carolyn says, and me, what about me? She needs that too. Yeah.
Carolyn needs it too.
Gosh, that is so interesting. And I think that's the giver's gain attitude that you have, Alicia, that I fell in love with immediately. So Alicia is not only a brand strategist and all the things she talked about, but she's also a speaker. And that's how I met her. So I think I was in San Antonio when I met her. And we just instantly said, you're my friend. I pick you. But I did notice that right away that you wanted to give people a way to be successful in their business. You are a helper. You are the type of person that really can help people be seen.
Yes.
And your artwork is so beautiful. And I do call it artwork because that's what it is. In my opinion, you didn't set out to be, a painter and put your artwork on the wall. You put your artwork into your customers, into what they're trying to portray. You find the message that's deep down inside, and then you bring it to life.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I really like how you put that. I'm going to remember that.
Okay. This is recorded, so you can go back.
There you go.
You can quote me and, put it on your website. There you go.
Well, and when it comes to branding, people forget that branding is so important. I want to share this story that developed over the years as I'm talking about Back of the Room Productions. And that is when you go shopping for a shoe and you see the perfect shoe, you put it on, the one on display, you put it on, it fits perfectly, it's nice, you're ready to buy it. Well, you go to look for the shoe, the box that the shoes come in. And here sits a beautiful, pristine box that's never been opened. When you do open it, you see that all the paper is still creased. It's not rumpled. There's no, the shoes in place, just nice, neat, and tidy. Then there's a box next to it. Same exact shoe. The same exact shoe that felt really good on your foot. You loved it. You couldn't wait to buy it. But it's in a box that's tattered. When you open the lid, the paper's all crumpled. The shoes are kind of wonky sitting in there. Which do you choose? You choose the box that's the nicest, even though they're the same exact shoe. The one in the tattered box doesn't get the full attention or the credibility that the one in the new box does. And you go
Wow.
the shoe in the new box. And that's how I liken our own branding and how it shows credibility when you have that. And I love taking people's messages and creating art out of it, the big visuals. Pow.
It's a beautiful thing. I'll tell you, every time I see something you created, hey, that's Alicia's work. I can tell. I mean, even your own. I mean, yes, most people think of themselves as, I'll do me last. But man, you must have done you first, or you were really paying attention because it's gorgeous. I don't know if you noticed or not, but your thumbnail today was my version of what you have created for yourself.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to look at that again.
It's beautiful. Yeah, Marion does beautiful work too on our thumbnails. I'm so blown away. The first time she did one and she put a little cartoon on it, I thought, oh, Marion, this is a show for adults. You don't want cartoons on it. And she didn't know where to come from on that one because she thought, well, I know better. And the videos that we have there on YouTube with the thumbnails, the ones that get the most play have the little cute cartoons on them.
Because she knows. She knows.
She knows.
She knows the visual branding. She knows how that works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
well, think about one of my clients, she's no longer a client, too bad, but she was up to 8 million subscribers on YouTube. And I'm like, I can't take credit for that, but I think it is what I understand, that I know what people want. Now, are people willing to give it to them? Not always. Okay. So this lady who has 8 million subscribers, can you believe that? She's willing to do whatever it takes to give the audience that she wanted to attract what they wanted, right? Now, so this is a good lesson for any business owner that I learned from her. And Lady Lou and I met her about the same time, because Lady Lou and I have been friends for 30 years, and I take her everywhere I go with me.
Yes.
So she has to go along. So
What a nice ride.
she had to witness this. But basically, this lady is willing to put on an act when she's on YouTube. Okay. If you meet her in person, she's very kind and soft-spoken and very nice. You'd never know. If you see her on YouTube, woza, I can only take about 2 minutes of it, and then I have to turn it off but that's what her audience is looking for. Okay. So if you can find your target market and you know that they are really going to be attracted to bright and bold and silver, then that's what you need to tell people like Alicia, who is going to create your brand. That's what you need to make sure you're in alignment with your branding, with the audience that you want to attract. Because let's face it, if you want to attract, 70-year-old men, sorry, and you give them bling and loud noise, they're not going to listen, right? If you give them bright and cheery and cartoons, they're going to go next channel.
Exactly. I mean, Lady Lou, you know what it's about finding that target audience, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's been your experience with that? I could talk about it, but I want to hear from you.
Well, I have changed my persona several times in my career, and that has been, I think, the most fun part of it. Being the queen of networking, I was that about 12 years in Houston, and I loved every minute of it. I wore that stupid crown. It was plastic. People would stop. I would wear it after a networking meeting, because it dented my hair, and I didn't want to take it off, and then I have this dent. So I would go to the grocery store. I'd go to Walmart's. I'd even pump gas into my little truck. I drove a truck back then. And one day in Walmart, I was looking at some merchandise on a shelf, and these two older women walked by me, and they said something, but I didn't pay attention. And then as they were walking by, they said, well, she must be the queen, because they had called me the princess, and I didn't hear it. But when they said queen, I looked up and I laughed. And they said, well, are you the queen for the birthday, queen for a day, or what? I said, no, I'm queen every day.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So we do have to brand ourselves no matter what business we're in. And that's why I love what you do, because it's important. And I used to wear this silly pin on the back of my shoulder, not on the front like most people do. I wore it on the back. It was a spider. Sometimes they were big.
Spider right there.
Mm-hmm. It was like
huge.
Crawling up to my neck, and I had people come along and swat it. One time it bit this one man. It had a little sharp point. He hit it. Oh, it bit me. But it was a brand again. And my business cards had a star punched in them, right? And people would hold my card up and look through that little hole. I had more fun. It was branding.
Absolutely.
And we can all do it.
Absolutely. And you came up with some really creative ideas on that. Number one, I'm not putting a spider anywhere near this body. So fake or real. But the crown, I mean, I love that it was a plastic crown.
Yeah. $7.95 at the Toys R Us.
That's great. But you understood it. You understood, and that's how, when I talk about branding with people, I talk about the 3 C's, consistency being the main one. So if you're consistent in all of your visual branding and your messaging from platform to platform, people get to know you, right? And then when they start seeing that same brand over and over again, that repetition, they begin to like you. They get to know your message. And then as as they get to know you even more, they trust you. Branding is part of the know, like, trust factor. If you're changing your brand all the time, every year it's a new business name or a new look and feel, something in the subconscious mind of our psyche says, why a change? There's a conflict. It's not a bad thing.
We don't like change.
Yeah, people don't like change.
I love it, but I know a lot of people don't.
You're an anomaly.
This is true. You can't put me in a box. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I have a comment about that, and I'm sure that people struggle with this. Okay. So when I was working with Russ Johns in the agency 258 was a marketing agency, and he was in charge, let's face it.
Yeah.
He had a very specific branding structure, and you couldn't go outside that. Okay, so the font had to be the same color, the same font. He let us use 2 different fonts. Whoop-de-doo. The style and the color. I mean, like I couldn't be creative. I felt so stymied. I felt like they were trying to put me in a box.
Sure.
And for Russ never puts anybody in a box, including himself. So it just seemed really hard. It was hard for me. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I'm pulling out some examples. I don't know if you can see this. This is a postcard I did for a lady, and her branding colors. She has 3 branding colors. Now we did carry everything through to her trifold brochure, to a retractable banner, and her business cards and such, and her website. But here's the thing, you don't have to be stuck. Like, if you're one of those people that wants to update your well, let me rephrase that. Start off with a basic color palette, all right? And keep the color palette, but you can change it. See how these are all boxes? Well, in her brochure, we added some circles to break it up, to make it different and interesting. Fonts, just as long as they're in the same kind of family. For example, if you're writing in Times New Roman, well, you can switch to a Merriweather font on something else. Or if you're doing a special, here's what I like. When you're doing a special or you're offering a new program or something, yeah, make it a little different, but keep those colors the same. Keep the colors the same, keep some of those graphic elements the same, and that's how you maintain that repetition. Because it's kind of like singing a song in a car. When you hear a song for the first time, you're in the car, you're driving, you're like, oh, I like that sound. And then you hear it again on the radio the next day, and you're like, oh, I can sing that song.
Yeah,
singing some of the words.
I could hear it right now.
And then after the 6th or 7th time, you're driving down the road and you're singing it at the top of your lungs, and people in the car next to you are looking at you like you're crazy, but you don't care because you love this song and you know every word because you heard it 6 or 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same exact beat, words, message, everything's the same.
Okay, I get it. You can hit me over the head. All right.
Yeah. I have a funny story about change. I decided at one point toward the end of the 12 years that I was the queen, I decided to quit wearing that silly crown. I mean, it was just so hokey, but people had gotten used to it. And I announced at a networking meeting, a women's group that I belonged to, and there were about 40 ladies in the room at lunch. And I announced that I was going to retire the crown, just let the crown go. You wouldn't have believed the reaction that the group of women did. One of the ladies got a yellow legal pad out and wrote across the top, tell Lady Lou not to lose the crown. And they passed it around the entire room. Everybody signed it. Don't lose the crown. So I kept wearing the crown.
You had a petition to wear the crown.
Yeah.
You were given a petition and permission to wear that crown.
I was.
And you continued doing it?
I did.
I'm going to take a quick break here and let everybody know that I think you can see for yourself how friendly Alicia is. And I know that you want her as your best friend, just like I did when I met her. So I want you to be able to contact her. You can go to her website, which is backoftheroomproductions.com, and I'm sure she's got a contact form there. Is there anything else that you would like us to say about your business and how people can get a hold of you?
Well, I talked a lot about visual branding, and it's specifically for people like coaches, entrepreneurs, and freelancers who want to use speaking to grow their business. I offer coaching for on and off stage strategies, how to generate leads, how to generate revenue every time you speak, how to really connect with your audience, and also develop programs. But I have teamed up with a wonderful group of people that will now, not only can I help you with your visual branding and those strategies, I can now provide you with website development, search engine optimization to get your website out there to show people that you're a speaker and what your message is. And I would love the opportunity to talk to you about that if that's something you're interested in. Again, the visual branding is a big part of all of this, but the strategies on how to be a successful speaker, if I may, I don't want to overstep my boundaries, but I do have the book called The Successful Speaker's Handbook.
Can you push it up to the camera a little higher? There we go. The Successful Speaker's Handbook. I love it.
Tools, strategies, and ideas to elevate your expertise as a speaker. I didn't get to meet Zig Ziglar, but his son, Tom Ziglar, proud son of Zig and CEO of Ziglar Inc., he endorsed my book, as well as several speaking association presidents. So that will, you can get it on Amazon, or you can go to my website and you can find this book, and it's filled full of checklists and tips and strategies.
I'm glad that we're talking about speaking, because now is a little different, right? You can't probably book yourself for a big conference where you're going to be there and there's going to be thousands of people in the audience. It's just not going to happen. So are you helping people come up with strategy on how to do a speaking engagement online?
Basically, I will guide a person creating a program. Hey, Sandra Fry, I know you. Hello.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
I will help them come up with webinar ideas, be their accountability partner when it comes to getting the steps done to create that webinar. Because right now, webinar, virtual workshops, virtual programs, online courses, that's where we need to go right now. That's where we're heading right now. Eventually, we are going to get back to those packed auditoriums, and I'm looking forward to that, because I personally love speaking on stage, but I don't mind sharing virtually either, because we all have a message. We all have value. We have expertise to share. I mean, Lady Lou, Marion, you both are experts. You have phenomenal wealth of information to share with people.
You know, I'm so glad that you were talking about this and helping business owners with it, because I know that I built my first business, not my first business, but my web design company, Peanut Path Designs. I built that business on speaking. So I got out to the Toastmasters and got some experience. I went to BNI and started, interacting with other business owners, started a networking group where I would introduce speakers every week. And I remember going to the speaker co-op, and I went to his meetings so that I could find speakers for my networking group. And I said in my introduction, I'm not a speaker, but I'm here to find speakers. And Jeff, the owner, stood up and said, Marion, what do you mean you're not a speaker? Don't you speak in front of your audience, your networking group every week? And I said, well, yeah, but I'm just introducing. No, you are a speaker. And that gave me permission. Yeah. And then that's how I grew my business. Through networking and speaking, I got clients enough to grow my business to where I was satisfied. And all the, I had a great company. It was wonderful. And I did it all through networking and speaking. So if you feel like you want to talk to Alicia, I know she is really up in Toastmasters. She does it all the time. I know you probably got, I don't know, do they give you awards, Alicia?
I'm just achieving the big one, the Distinguished Toastmasters.
See, she's distinguished. I knew that already. You didn't have to tell me. But I think it's important. So why don't you contact Alicia just to have a conversation about how she can help you, not only with your branding, but also maybe you need a new website or refresh your website, or maybe you need to talk to her about getting out there and speaking. Start by getting her book. I probably sound like a commercial, but you know what? It's because I know Alicia and I love Alicia, and she's got a heart of gold, and she's going to steer you in the right direction.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So Sandra says, I agree, but speakers can also give value virtually during this time.
Yeah, we just shared a talk about that. I think before you came in. So definitely. During this time, I always give a 30-minute call, free call, and they can. Anybody can go to my website and sign up for that, and I will help you with as much as I can in that 30 minutes.
See, you can speak to her about what it is that you want your business to do. Now, a lot of people right now, Alicia and Lady Lou, we all know this. People have been laid off and they're looking for something. So you can help them create a business, starting with their branding, starting with the idea of what it is that they want to create and the message that they want to share. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to slow down and talk to an expert that can help you figure it out. Because we all need somebody that's a little bit above or I was going to say dislocated, but that's not it. Not part of our group now, so that they can see it from a perspective that you can't. And I know Alicia would help you with that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So they just need to go to your website, right, Alicia?
Yes, ma'am.
If you repeat that for the podcast audience, if you would, please.
Back of the Room Productions.com.
Production has an S on it. Love it.
Yes. Back of the Room Productions.com. And you're going to see how beautiful her website is. And of course, Alicia created it. I sound like a top fan, don't I? Well, that's because I am.
Number one fan. Marianne's the number one fan.
Oh, we all need that, don't we?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, give us another tip, would you? We're kind of at toward the end of our show, but one more tip for our audience, please.
I know that our podcasters can't see this, but I want to show those who are watching right now. And if you are listening and you want this to see the tip, I create an order sheet and keep it with me everywhere I go. It's not just an order sheet. It also has a place for people to enter their information so that they can sign up for your newsletter, or they can sign up. Whoops, there we go. Sign up for your newsletter, get your free gift, perhaps schedule a phone call with you. This, y'all.
She's from Texas, y'all. Did you hear that?
This, y'all, is your easy to create lead generator strategy that you want to have with you every time you speak, even if it's for 5 minutes. And yes, you are a speaker if you're speaking for 5 minutes. And I had the same realization as Marianne, that someone had to tell me you are a speaker, and then I had to go discover it for myself. And once I figured it out, I loved it. And I can't shut up.
And I'm glad. We don't want you to shut up. We want you to speak loud and proud. You know it? Loud and proud.
That's beautiful.
Can I mention Sandra Fry? She asked, do you think it's easier to have someone else create your brand than for you to do it yourself? And I did my own branding when I began because I didn't have the ability to invest in that. Now I'm getting my website totally redesigned by my web team. I'm taking my hands off of it. I'm giving them direction or my branding direction, branding style guide, and they're taking off with it. And I think it was the best decision I ever made. The thing is that you can struggle with something And you can help people with that same struggle, but sometimes you just can't help yourself.
I love that. Well,
I think that happens to all of us.
It
Thank you, Lady.
Well, thank you,
Alicia.
All of a sudden, I've lost your name. Thank you, Alicia. We really appreciate you joining us here today. And we're going to share your video with everybody. And I would ask our audience to please go to YouTube and share it over there. Just go to Marian LaSalle, and that's Natural Curiosity, and you'll find all of our videos over there. And share this one. This is such a beautiful thing for the business owners and entrepreneurs. So we appreciate you, Alicia, so much. Thank you. And
Bye
we
for
thank,
now.
I appreciate you.
well, we thank all of our audience too. And remember, just keep coming back. We're here almost every day. Thank you. Thank you.
Create a fantastic day for yourself.
Yes.
Do it now.